Hello. I'm just waiting for somebody to tell me that they can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Ah, great. I got the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, Ellie. That's great. I'm just gonna wait just another moment or two. Just allow a few more people to come on. A few more people joining here. Thanks, guys. And I just want to make sure I am recording. Yes, I am. Okay. So everybody can see and hear. Okay. So you're very welcome. Thank you for joining in, everybody. For those of you who are here live with me right now, thank you. And I know there's loads of people registered. There's a great response. So those of you who are watching it back on the recording, hello to you guys too. So I'm really looking forward to this workshop, just talking about something that I'm really passionate about, meditation, and then, meditation for your mental game. Some of you might know me from the tennis world. Some of you might not play tennis. Maybe you're an athlete from another sport, so you're very welcome too. But a lot of my experience would have been gained on the tennis court. I'm a former professional tennis player, and I'm a tennis coach, and I'm also a yoga and meditation teacher. So in my playing days, I probably played about 25 years of competitive tennis, and the mental side of the game really, I was really interested in it from a very young age. So I've just been learning over the years. And this, I decided to do this workshop. You might have noticed when I was advertising the workshop, and when you were registering, that it's to help celebrate the launch of my meditation program for athletes called Be Present, Compete. I created this and I launched it about 10 days ago, and it's going really well. So yeah, I'm going to give you or talk a little bit more about that later on. But so here, this little workshop, meditation for your mental game. So our mental game, so I'll talk about tennis players, because I think there's a lot of tennis players logging on here. I don't know what your experience has been, but I know for myself, and even as a tennis coach, that I would have focused a lot on, the technical part of the game, the tactical part, the physical part, and, the mental part was kind of neglected. And I think, a lot of coaches out there would agree with me that the mental part of the game is neglected somewhat, and it's a huge part of the game, as are all the other parts. But the meditation, the mental game is a huge deal. And when we think about, our mental game being in its best state, you might have heard of the term the flow state, somebody being in their flow state. And this is when, they're in the zone, that they're completely, the sports person is completely absorbed in what they're doing. It's like they're really in the present moment playing or competing. And there's a kind of a sense of fluidity between the brain or the mind and the body. And so, the flow state, you might have experienced this sometime, and some of you may have experienced before. I've experienced it a few times, and as I got better and better with my mental game, I was able to connect to that flow state more and more, and it's a wonderful feeling. But it's just, if your mental game was perfect, then you'd be able to tap into that flow state all the time. But there are challenges. There are challenges to the mental game, and this is what stops us getting into that flow state all the time. So there's, you know, things like poor concentration, not being able to stay focused on your goals, or, you know, getting easily distracted, low confidence, just feeling like, oh, that you're not good enough, that you're not good enough to win this match, good enough to play this point, you're not confident in this particular stroke. Then a lot of people suffer from nerves, you know, going out to play a match. It can be very nerve-wracking, and sometimes, I know I've definitely gone through it, where I've been almost paralyzed on when I was competing, not being able to, you know, move my body freely and fluidly like I would like, and yeah, just, you know, overthinking things, worrying about the future, worrying about the next point, the next game, the next set, that kind of thing. And then also, I know a lot of players who would get really frustrated on the court. They get angry, and they let that emotion take over, and you know, sometimes they would end up losing, you know, they'd end up losing the match because of it, unable to get back to the job at hand. You know, what is it I'm supposed to be focusing on? So they're kind of some of the challenges that we face as sports people when we're competing. And so this is where meditation comes in. So meditation, you know, what is meditation? Well, there's so many different types of meditation, but just meditation, just a little definition of meditation, is where it's like a one-pointed focus. So you're focusing on something like an object or a concept, and you're just trying to quieten down the mental chatter, you know, all the thoughts that are going on in your mind, so that you can become really focused and deeply concentrated. And with meditation practice, you know, over time, if you're meditating and practicing your meditation, over time, it can have lasting, you know, physical and mental benefits. So what are these benefits? Well, meditation can help relieve stress. It can help improve your concentration, your memory. Let's see, I have it here, symptoms of anxiety. So it can improve symptoms of anxiety, you know, being able to deal with struggles such as anxiety or suffering from nerves. Meditation can improve your feeling of self-worth, you know, maybe the confidence will start to come up, you know, rise and be a little bit better. It also allows room for the processing of emotions. So, you know, maybe when you're in a meditation practice, you know, consistently, maybe you find that you wouldn't be as reactive as you once were, you know, you're not getting as fired up or as angry as quickly as you possibly would have. And then just this whole feeling of, you know, when you're meditating, you're just feeling more connected to life, to, you know, feeling more grounded and feeling more connected to, you know, the present moment. So they're some of the benefits of meditation. My story with meditation, I'll just give you a quick little insight into how I got into meditation. I first started meditating for my tennis. You know, I won't. You know, it was definitely just because I was obsessed with tennis. So, but when I was under 12 and all the way really through my junior years, I used to get so upset on the tennis court that I would be crying. I'd be crying my way through matches, and I would be left exhausted after matches because, you know, and it didn't mean that I was losing every match. You know, I cry my way through matches because I found things so stressful. But there were times then I was able to just turn it around. I cried all my tears out, and you know, got on with the job and was able to be determined and, you know, fight for to try and win. But just not being able to deal with the stress of the competition. Now, you could say I was a little bit obsessed with tennis, perfectionist as well, a little bit, but just over, you know, my junior years, it was embarrassing at times. You know, being, you know, crying my way through matches. But I know that some people, you know, some juniors out there do struggle with this. So just to let you know that there is light at the end of the tunnel as such. But when I got to college, I was going through a really rough year, my third year in college, and it was all, you know, in my tennis, I was tightening up so much on my backhand that I couldn't hit it over the net. It was a really horrible time because I was starting to lose matches. I was feeling really low in confidence and stressed out, really. And I know some people get this, they get it on a shot, you know, where, you know, sometimes it's serve, or, you know, they just lose faith in a shot that they have. Anyway, it was going really horribly wrong for me. And then I had a coach over in college who I used to discuss this kind of stuff with her. And we decided, or I'm not really sure how it came about, but this is when I started meditating. And the meditation that I used was, I just found a quiet space for myself and started staring at a candle. I'd light a candle for myself every night, and I'd stare at it for, you know, 15, 20 minutes. And you know what, that just gave me peace. It just calmed everything right down. And I ended up, you know, after even as short a time as a week or two, I ended up not feeling so pressurized on the court. My confidence started to come back. My backhand, I wasn't hitting it where it was bouncing before the net anymore. It was going over, it was working again. And yeah, it was just, my game was transformed. And then as a result of that, I started doing better results wise, but more importantly, I was happier in myself. And so that's my little story. And since then I left college and I started playing full time for years. And I always had meditation then as part of my training. In fact, it became probably the most important part of my training. Now, I was one of those people who loved to, you know, do my physical stuff. I always did my stretching. Now I'm a yoga teacher. It was the mental part of the game that I really needed to work on. And, you know, when my mental game was right, even if, you know, my shots were a little bit off, I was able to get through matches and to enjoy the experience. So the type of meditation I started off with was candle gazing, but there are so many different types of meditation. You know, there could be, you know, transcendental meditation, there's walking meditation, there's mantra meditation where you're focusing on a particular word or a phrase. And then there's breath meditations. So meditations where you can focus on the breath. And this is, I find this really a really powerful type. Now, there's lots of different types of breathing meditations, but our focus is, you know, remember I was talking about your point of focus, just focusing on one thing. So focusing on the breath is a real powerful one, I think. And we are going to get set up. We're going to practice one of these now. So it is a workshop. So we're going to do some practical stuff here as well. So we're going to do a little meditation. So what I want you to do, I'm actually going to move back a little bit so you can see. I'm going to move back to my mat here just to show you how you could set up for your meditation. Now, I have what I call here a yoga block. Okay, you don't need to sit down on the floor with your legs crossed, okay? So, but I'll show you the few different types. So you could sit with your legs crossed, one shin in front of the other. You could do, what I like to do is one ankle in front of the other. Now I do sit up on the block. You could sit up on a cushion or a folded blanket. You could sit back on your heels like so. That's a nice, for some people find that too much on the feet and the ankles. But so these are just a few different types. Now, if you find this too uncomfortable, then sitting in a chair is absolutely fine. Sitting in a chair with a straight back is always nice, because we want to keep our spine long when we meditate. So, you know, keeping yourself sitting up nice and tall. So just go ahead, get yourself set up. Now, if you are sitting on a chair, just please make sure that your feet are connected to the floor. Okay, and you don't really want to be disturbed. So if you can tell those around you, maybe in the house, to leave you be for the next little while. Okay, and then you can just relax the hands on the legs. And then just checking in with the back, making sure you're tall, you're sitting straight. And now we take the gaze downwards. So just taking your gaze down towards the floor, maybe a foot or two in front. And if you're comfortable with closing down your eyes, then go for that. It's okay to leave the eyes open also. I'm just checking in with the body here now, just feeling the base of your spine connecting down to the seat beneath you, whether you're sitting on a cushion or a chair or the floor. And relaxing the shoulders. So just allowing the shoulders to drop away from the ears. And then relax the jaw. Soften around the eyes. And just being nice and smooth across the brow, the forehead. So just allowing a sense of relaxation to come to the face, the muscles of the face. And we just connect with the senses for a moment. So just connecting with the sense of smell. You take a few breaths and just noticing if there's any particular smell or scent in the room that you're in. And noticing if there's any particular taste in the mouth. Noticing or just observing sounds that might be around you. So just listening, but not investing yourself in these sounds too much, just observing. And then the sense of sight. So just noticing if your eyes are closed, maybe perhaps patterns of light behind the eyelids or movement. If the eyes are open, just without straining the eyes, just being aware of what you see before you. And now take your awareness to the flow of your breath in your body. So just noticing the parts of your body that are moving as you breathe. Not changing your breath, just keeping it as is, just observing it. Just noticing the pace of your breath. So is it fast or is it slow? Or is it somewhere in between? Notice the rhythm of your breath. So just being aware, is the inhale longer than the exhale? Or maybe the exhale is longer than the inhale. Or maybe perhaps they're of equal length. Just observing, not changing anything with the breath. And then just noticing the texture of your breath. So as you're breathing here, does it feel smooth? Or does it feel a little bit more rough? Do you notice parts of your body that are moving as you're breathing? So maybe you can feel your tummy moving outwards as you breathe in, and then moving back gently inwards as you breathe out. Or perhaps you feel the breath at the rib cage. On the inhale, maybe you feel the rib cage expanding. And then on the exhale, feel it contracting. Perhaps you feel it at your chest, feeling the chest broaden on the in-breath, and then relaxing down on the out-breath. Or maybe you notice the breath at the nostrils. Maybe you can feel the air coming in through the nose. So cool air entering and then warm air exiting through the nostrils. So wherever you feel the breath most, stay focused on that space, that area for the next few moments. Just feeling the breath, noticing the inhale and the exhale. And don't worry if the mind is busy. Just every time you notice that you've lost focus, just bring your attention back to your breath. the end of this next breath, be aware of the base of your spine connecting down to the surface beneath you. And being aware of your surroundings. And when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. Just take a moment now, just letting the eyes adjust. So that type of meditation we practice there, it's just a breath awareness meditation. Now, maybe you found this peaceful, maybe you found that you could really bring your focus into the breath and the sensations of the breath in your body. And maybe you found your mind was busy and the thoughts were coming in and out and in and out, and that's okay. That's completely natural. It's, you know, that is the challenge, I suppose, with meditation, is to try and quieten down the mind and this busy chatter that goes on, and just to try and quieten it down and allow your focus to just become one pointed. So I did want to talk to you a little bit about my my meditation course for athletes and performers. So Be Present, Compete. And the name kind of suggests what it's all about. It's trying to help athletes become more present, more mindful, more in the now when they're competing, so that they're not thinking about what went on in the past or, you know, worrying about what's going to happen in the future when they're playing. And so it is a meditation program. It's a meditation course for athletes, performers, sports people, anybody from, you know, amateur to professional level. And it entails, what does it entail? It entails, there's 12 meditations in the course. So there's 4 meditations that focus on the breath, different types of ways of, you know, different kind of breathing patterns that are all very useful to help train the mind to become more focused by using the breath. Then I have 2 meditations specifically to try and help the mind become more focused, you know, concentrated. Then there are 2 meditations where we work on body awareness. So, you know, we're working on breath awareness in the last meditation, but body awareness, connecting the mind and the body. Sometimes, you know, we are a little bit disconnected. You know, we don't know what it feels like when our shoulders are tight. You know, we're just going around, yeah, you know, all tensed up, but then it's like, oh my God, my shoulders are tight. So then you can, you know, consciously relax them. That's just a little example. So there's 2 meditations there where there's body awareness. I have a confidence meditation, and it's really a meditation where I try to help the participant to go deep within and just find that confidence inside without all the rubbish all around it, just going deep within, and yeah, just finding their inner power as such. And then there's 2 meditations where we focus on visualization. And then there's a bonus meditation at the end called Yoga Nidra. And it's a one that I wrote specifically for athletes. Yoga Nidra, it's a longer meditation that you do lying down. And it is, it's one that is really good if you need a very deep, you know, if you want a really deep rest for the body. So the idea in Yoga Nidra is that the body sleeps, but the mind stays alert. And it's a very powerful meditation when practiced correctly. The danger with Yoga Nidra is that people do, not the danger, but the problem sometimes with Yoga Nidra is people fall asleep with it. But over time with practice, that can be avoided. So also in the course, I give you guidance on how to set up for a meditation, a little bit of like what we were doing just there, but just a few other little pointers. there's a section on goal setting, and it's goal setting specifically for your mental game. So there's a questionnaire in there, and I advise you to, when you're doing or before you do the questionnaire, to just maybe even do a meditation, just to allow the mind to settle. So your thoughts are a little bit clearer, and you can really just think about, okay, where do I need to make improvements in my mental game? I think it's important to have goals. We have goals for our technique, for our tactics, we have certain outcome goals also, but just it's important, I think, to have, if you're struggling, say on the tennis court, and you find that I always, when I win the first set, I'm always, I get so uptight then that I can't perform and I lose the match. I lose the second set and lose the match. If that's kind of your thing, then, that is something you want to improve on. You want to improve on, maybe you're getting so tight, so you want to improve on your relaxation abilities, the ability to relax yourself, so that you can perform and execute your shots and play the way you want to play. And then I also have just a little section on journaling. So journaling is, I would have said this to a lot of junior players who I would have coached, but it's also for adults as well. Journaling, just having a little notebook for your tennis, or for your sport, whatever sport you're playing, because I know there's other athletes on, but just something where you write down all your stuff that either you need to work on, or little goals that you have for yourself, for your matches, goals that you have for yourself for your training, and post-match analysis, writing it down in your journal, because you can learn so much from this kind of practice. I still have them in the attic, actually, just notebooks from my time playing. And, during my playing days, I would look back at them and be like, oh yeah, you could write notes on players that you play against if you want to really get into it. But I think good journaling is a good thing to do. And so that's the Be Present Compete. Now it costs, the investment, I would say, is it's in dollars, $129, which is roughly €110. So, roughly the price of 2 private lessons, that investment in your mental game. It's a promotional offer at the moment, so that price is set at $129 at the moment. If you purchase the course, you have access for life. You'll always have the meditations there for yourself. And I'm offering a free preview. So there is one of the meditations, I think, it's a three-phase breath meditation, and that is there for free for anybody who would like it. And there will be, it's all on my website, yvonnedoyle.com, and you just go to Meditation for Athletes and click on there, and click on the Be Present Compete, and then it just takes you to the course, what it's all about. And, I created this course because, well, I feel like I've a lot of experience in the area. I'm passionate about it. But when I've, over the years, I've been coaching people from all levels, from, beginner to professional level. And it seems everybody struggles with their mental game. There are aspects, that some people could be strong in certain areas of their mental game, but weak in other areas. And they're the things that ultimately let them down. And when I was a coach, I am still a coach, but when I was coaching people and just being able to, I'd give them snippets here and there, little bits of advice here and there in their mental game. But I kind of always thought to myself, I'd love to put this together in a package, the meditations, the types of meditations that I would have done, the types of meditations that I think would really help an athlete, get into their flow state more consistently. So you can check that out on my website. Now, earlier I was talking about the types of meditations that we can use and the breathing meditation. So this is where I'm going to talk a little bit sciencey. This is the science bit. I won't be too I won't go too deep into this, but when we are, the autonomic nervous system is made up of two parts. So the autonomic nervous system is what controls our involuntary actions in the body, like the heartbeat, like digestion, stuff like that. So the two parts then are the sympathetic nervous system, which is kind of like our stress, fight, flight response, and then the parasympathetic nervous system, which is kind of the relaxation, recovery, digest response. And in today's modern world, it is, you know, you've heard, no doubt, there's so much talk about how stressed everybody is. We all have devices, multiple devices that are pinging all day long. Now you can turn off your notifications, obviously, but no, it's really like we are getting distracted all the time, and it is making the body and the mind more stressed. There's so much going on, so much to take in, so many distractions. And this is putting us in a sympathetic state. And the sympathetic state is really like, an example would be like from hundreds of years ago. So a guy in the forest, you know, as relaxed as can be, walking around, and then he comes upon, you know, you've heard this, maybe like a bear or something, and he goes into fight flight mode, you know, so this is where he has to survive. Now he has to survive because there's a bear coming after him. But we are in a sense of that state quite a lot of the time, quite a lot of the time. So you can't be in both states, the sympathetic and parasympathetic. So if you're in the sympathetic state, you're suppressing the parasympathetic state. But if you're in the parasympathetic state, you're suppressing the sympathetic. So we need to do more to bring about a sense of balance for the mind and the body. So one way of doing that is to do a breath practice where we have a longer exhale than we do an inhale. So we're going to do another little meditation before I let you go. So if you want to get yourself set up again, maybe you're sitting still in the same position, that's okay. Okay, so you can just make sure that the spine is like nice and long. You can relax the shoulders, relax the hands down on the legs. And the palms of the hands can be up or down. We don't need to do any special mudra, what they call mudras, where we connect our fingers in different ways together. And then maybe perhaps taking your gaze downwards or closing down the eyes. Just taking a moment, just being aware of your body in this space. Being aware of the clothing on your skin. Being aware of the air on your skin. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Now taking your attention to your breath. Feeling it in the body. And we'll begin with what we call even breath. So on your next breath, You inhale to the count of 4 and you exhale to the count of 4. Just taking your time with this. No strain. Just allowing the breath to flow. Counting 4 on the inhalation and 4 on the exhalation. On your next breath, count 4 on the in-breath. Then you're going to lengthen the out breath to the count of 7. 4 on the inhale and 7 on the exhale. Just keeping it nice and smooth. Allowing the breath to flow. With this next breath, you continue with the counting of 4 and 7, but add a pause at the end of the exhale. Just a gentle pause. So you're inhaling for 4, exhaling for 7, pausing, and then begin again. So long, deep inhales and long, slow exhales. In this next breath, you add a pause after your inhalation. So we inhale for 4, pause, exhale for 7, pause, and continue on breathing in this manner. Remembering to keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the jaw soft. Keep the forehead relaxed. So at the end of this next breath, you can let go of the pauses and let go of the counting. So with your breath back at its natural rhythm, just take a moment now just to notice how you feel. So how the body feels, how the mind feels, and how you feel emotionally. And then being aware of your surroundings. And when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. Just again, take a little bit of time, allow your eyes to adjust to the light. So I hope you enjoyed that meditation. It's one that is supposed to help bring about a relaxation response. And there are many different types of meditations, as I've mentioned, but that last one there it's quite a powerful one. I use it quite often when I can feel, actually, I used it right before I came on here, feeling a little bit nervous about coming on in front of the camera. But yeah, I used it. I just spent a few moments before we came live to just, to try and slow the breath down, slow the mind down. So with practice, it can be a very useful one to use. So that's really, I've covered everything I wanted to cover today. I would like to say that if you are a coach or, if you're involved in your tennis club and you thought, or you would like this kind of thing, like a workshop like this for your members or for your players, please don't hesitate to get in touch. YvonneDoyle.com. You can just go through the contact form there, and I would love to be coming out to clubs and doing this kind of thing, and maybe combining it with yoga for athletes, for sports people, for tennis players. But obviously in these times we can't do that. But maybe a workshop on Zoom would be something that your players or members would like. So please get in touch if that's the case. And also, just if you're interested I'll just mention it one more time, be present, compete. It's on my website, YvonneDoyle.com, and I am on Instagram and Facebook, Yvonne Doyle Yoga. If you want to jump on there, I'll be letting you know what else is coming up in the meditation for sports people department. I'll be leaving it, or I'll be posting on there for sure. So I want to say thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for coming on live. Thank you those who are watching the recording. Thanks a million. And I hope you got something out of the workshop, and maybe we'll be in touch again in the future. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.